Hey, 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 we back. If
Hey,
how you doing?
I'm great. How are you this evening?
Welcome. We're gonna get into this, you guys. It's another episode of Second Act with DeAngelo. We got a good show today happening. Are you happy to be here?
I am thrilled to be here.
All right. Well, we're gonna get into it. But first I need to introduce this person so you guys know exactly who she is and what she's all about. We gotta do it right. All right, so let me turn down the music. It's another episode of Second Act with D'Angelo where we get our second act right. And we're going to be talking travel today with a travel guru, I must say, right?
Ooh, ooh. Get you.
Would you consider yourself a travel guru?
I would consider myself a travel guru.
All right. Well, let me introduce you then. All right. So we have a special guest here today. We're going to be talking second act, and she embodies this because I'm going to tell you why, and you're going to learn why on this show today. But the freedom and reinvention is her goal. And using your gifts to open doors for others is what she does every single day. So she's a powerhouse in the travel industry, a woman whose work is more than booking trips. It's creating first time experiences. All right. It's creating memories for families and it's helping people see more of the world. She has built a business rooted in joy, service, and global exploration, helping people take their very first vacations, their very first cruises, and sometimes their very first passport that lets them stamp all over the world. Okay. She calls herself looking to bless people, right? And I think she is a blessing because not only does she help others see the world, she's built a life herself around getting paid to do what she loves while traveling the world herself, y'all. I got to give her some claps for that.
Hey.
I got to give her some claps for that. Yeah. Keep on clapping. Yeah, keep on clapping. And she's going to tell us about that today. We're going to learn about that. You might have seen her across a lot of social media content out there. She puts out there on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, all the different social networks. Okay. She's out there doing her thing, teaching people. And if you're ready to book your next adventure or start your own travel business, she's got you covered. I want everyone to say hello, family. Hello, family, to Phertrina Mack Murray,
Hello, hello, hello.
the travel
Hey.
entrepreneur, success coach, and living proof that your second act can take you anywhere in the world. Welcome.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me, D'Angelo. I'd love
No,
to,
I'm glad you're here. You know what my mission is? In our second act, I want everyone, including myself, to live their best life. And I really honestly believe, I didn't come to this understanding till later on in life, but I really honestly believe, Katrina, that this world is meant for us to explore. It's like, it's our gift. The gods gave us, whatever God you believe in, the gods gave us this gift and this beautiful earth. And it would be a tragedy that we only see a small portion of it. Wouldn't you agree?
I absolutely agree. If God has given us the breath to open up our eyes for a new day, then you got to make the best of that day. And while I'm here on this earth, I want to see everything I could see and experience every new adventure that I can while I'm able to.
I hear that. So we're going to get into that. And you've seen my show before, but this show has a very important focus, which is to help people, especially in their second act of their life, live their life to the fullest. And I believe that travel is one of the pillars of your life that you need to explore before you leave this earth, and it should be
Absolutely.
prioritized. Okay. So I'm hoping to learn from you and others on this show who's going to watch this video to hear about your life, how you got into it, and the circumstances that brought you into this purpose to travel, to build a business around it, and what has it done for you in your second act. Does that sound fair?
That sounds very fair. And I'm happy to
Wonderful.
share. Everyone's experience has been different in this industry, but for me, I had a love for travel since I was like in my teens, in my 20s. And when I went away to college with my girlfriends, we all said that we're going to go a different place every year. And we were holding true to that. Just with hanging out with my girlfriends until I got married. And then, you can't leave the hubby out. So you got to do trips with
Mhm.
your husband too. But while I was working at my corporate job, I was working there for over almost 30 years. And I decided to join this travel opportunity while I was working my 9 to 5. And my corporate job, I was in commercial real estate, and I
Mhm.
worked in a white male dominated industry for the position that I held. And sometimes I was the only person of color in the room. So
Wow.
that carries a lot of weight and a lot of responsibility as well. So most of the time, you had to do double the work they did in order to even be recognized.
Wow.
And I held my own. When they opened the new World Trade Center, that was one of my properties. And my sales were the highest in my department. But even with all of that, eventually change happened in my department. And after being there almost 30 years, I was let go
Mm.
unexpectedly. And after having that kind of experience, I didn't want to work for anybody else anymore.
Uh,
So that really birthed my eagerness to have my own business, to be an entrepreneur and work for myself. So my
gotcha.
husband and I discussed it, and I wasn't at retirement age quite yet, but I was almost there. He said, try doing your business full time and let's see where it takes you. And he knew that I love to travel anyway. So I was doing something that I love for a change. I was making them a lot of money, making them millions of dollars in contract sales. I said, I could do this for myself.
Mm.
And I've always wanted to be in a position to help other people in some kind of way live a better life. So
Mm.
I always thought I should have been in social work or something else, not where I was, but that's where I landed. And I enjoyed what I did because I was still able to help people, even though it was in a commercial environment.
Mhm.
Um, I still was able to bless people in other ways.
How
So
I'm curious to know, like, how was your transition? I mean, you said how you lost the job and you were successful there, and that was a huge career transition for you. You were already on
mhm,
the side as an entrepreneur doing this as a supplemental business, and
right.
all of a sudden now you're shifted into this full-time approach. Sure, it wasn't an easy transition.
No, it wasn't, because when you're working a 9 to 5, you have a boss and you have someone else dictating what it is you need to do, when you need to do it, and you have to produce a certain amount of you have to produce in
Mhm.
order to stay relevant in your position. Now, working for yourself, you're your own boss, you're dictating your own schedule. You have to be disciplined enough to do the things that are necessary to make your business successful. And
Mm.
now you're your own spokesperson for your brand, and you're doing all the things that you need to do to make your brand successful. And now I could speak for me and do things the way I like to do it to help other people. And I
So
was excited about it because I love travel already. And I'm like, I'm making this my full time business. I can help
mm,
other people make money in this industry too. So
mhm.
there was a level of excitement for me just to help other people.
Would you say it's harder to do what you're doing as an entrepreneur? Like you said, the different factors you just mentioned, you got to motivate yourself. Like, let's keep it real. Like, if you're getting a paycheck every twice a week, if you don't feel like working today, you could just say, I'm taking a personal day and you're still
Hmm.
getting paid. Or let's keep it real because I'm in HR, right? You can say you could still come in today and work 70% and get away with it, right? And know you're still going to get a check. You give yourself 70% today as an entrepreneur, that can have a huge impact on seeing some money, right?
Absolutely.
So, like,
Absolutely. It's a different ball game when you work in your own business. But the difference is nobody can hold you back. Nobody can dictate how much money you're making because you're doing that yourself. Nobody can cap your salary or tell you how much you're going to make. So,
right. So, if people in our second act, everyone wants the freedom,
mhm,
but there's a price to pay for freedom too, right?
absolutely.
There's a price
Absolutely.
to pay for the freedoms you want. There's no easy route. People go, oh, I wish I had my own business. Your own business,
Mhm.
there's a price to pay
Responsibility.
for that. There's a
Yes.
responsibility.
There's
There's
a
another
lot of
level of accountability,
yes.
right?
Yes.
So,
Especially when you have business partners, when you have other people working with you in this opportunity. When it's just you yourself, there's enough responsibility and accountability there. But now with working with other people to help them as well, there's a bigger level of responsibility.
so you make this transition. This is obviously a second act move for
Yeah.
you because you were a career person at the time working in New York City, major firm and all of that.
Mhm.
And you just go to become a self, you know, identified entrepreneur travel guru, right? I know it didn't happen overnight, right? So,
Well, no, it didn't happen overnight because I already had the travel business while I was working this full-time job.
oh,
But I
okay.
transitioned into full-time after this happened because I was like, I truly believe when God closes one door, he opens another. And this door was already open for me. I just had to step my foot in it and do it full time for me, work for myself. And I got to work. I said, I got to work as hard for me that I work for them.
Right. And at the very least, right,
Hmm.
you gotta work as hard as you would have worked. So that makes a lot of sense. So, what was the journey like? What was the transition like? I mean, going from now, okay, I'm just doing this thing on the side to now I'm doing it to provide. I'm doing it to create a new lifestyle for myself. Like, what was the emotional journey that you took to be able to
It
do
weighed
that?
heavy at first because I was used to that corporate environment for so many years. So I had to transition into, oh my God, I'm waking up now. I'm waking up on my terms, my hours, the way I want to. So it was an adjustment going
Mhm,
from corporate to my own, but it was a welcomed adjustment. I felt like I was happier because there's a level of stress that comes with even your own business, but working for someone else and being under the constraints and sometimes even the personalities you had to deal with. I didn't miss that. I didn't
mm,
miss that at all. So being, working for myself, now I'm creating the environment. I'm setting the pace and I'm, creating an environment that I want people to work with me. So I know the things I didn't like and the things I didn't want. So I didn't want to create that kind of environment for the people in my space, in my
mhm.
business.
So, how many years has it been so far since you've started this second act journey into self-made
Full time.
entrepreneur?
Actually,
Yeah.
it's been almost 6 years.
Wow.
Almost 6 years. Yeah.
6 years you've been doing it. Wow.
Mhm.
Congrats. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And, like you said, the journey, it's a journey in itself, but where would you say you're at right now? Like, are you personally at goals that you're personally trying to hit
Yeah,
now?
I have goals that I'm trying to meet in this business, and I'm pushing myself to meet those goals, but
Mhm,
it's still at my own pace. I don't have quotas to meet or
mhm.
somebody telling me what I have to do. I'm doing it at my pace, in my way, in my
Gotcha.
so I'm
Mhm.
grateful that I have the opportunity to do it that way, and I don't have the pressure of meeting somebody else's standards.
So, let's talk a little about your second act story. How has the travel business shaped your own second act or personal transformation?
Oh, my mama. I have been traveling the world since I started this travel business, and I didn't have to ask for PTO or days off, and it's my own
That
time.
sound good.
I have been traveling the world, living my best life. And it's like, it's so funny. I didn't even realize how much travel I was doing until I would see people and be like, are you here? Are you in the US? I'm like, you don't know. And they're like, no, because you ain't never here. You're
When
never
people
here.
say
You're
that,
always gone.
that's
And I'm
how they
like, oh
experience you.
my, I said, I didn't realize. I said, I travel that much. They're like, yeah, you just don't realize it because you all in it now. And my son said, Ma, could you just leave the deed to the house here? Because you ain't never here. So you might as well leave the house to me. I was like, yeah, yeah, no.
That's cool. When people start recognizing that, you're like, "Wow, people know that I'm moving around. I'm jet set," right?
Yes, yes, and
Right.
my husband was like, you're not leaving me." He's retired now, so he's traveling with me then, but we're really traveling even more because he has the time freedom now that he didn't have
Mhm.
before as well. And we just enjoying retirement. And this is what people live to do once they retire as their second act. They love their grandkids, but they're not trying to keep the grandkids like they used to before. They spend time with them, they love on them, and they give them back to their mamas and their
Mm,
dads. People want to create experiences because once you've worked and did that 9 to 5 and that hustle bustle, now you want to enjoy your life and do some things for you.
yes.
Places that you put on the back burner because you had to work and you didn't have the time or flexibility to do some of these
Yes.
trips. So now in this second act, I'm doing all of that because tomorrow is not promised to any of us. We don't know if we're going to see tomorrow. So I'm doing everything I can do right now.
Yeah, and, I think you hit it on the nail because, when you're younger, you're so focused on, moving up, getting promoted,
Mhm.
excelling, making money, and you realize as you start to get older, the money isn't so much the issue as the time. How
Mhm.
much time do you have?
Mhm.
The more you're focused on the dollar, the less time you have, right? And the fact is this, time isn't promised. We want to spend more time exploring the earth, having different experiences,
Yes.
and I think what you found is a way to do that. What do you believe adults over 40 specifically, right? Because anyone can have a second act, by the way.
Right.
You can be 20 and have a second
That's
act
right.
in terms of like career
Right.
change or something like that, or life goal change. But I want to speak to you specifically about people in an age group that is more mature, that has been senior in their careers or stuff like that. Like you just mentioned, like maybe now they're, what do you call, people who don't have kids anymore. They're what's the term? Nester?
Empty nesters?
Empty
Mhm.
nesters. What would you say that from travel that they cannot have, that they may not have valued when they were younger, but could value now for to be traveling more in their life at this point?
There's some people who've never taken a trip, who've never been out of the US, never been out of the city they live in.
Why would you
And
say that's a tragedy in itself?
because you really haven't lived life, you got to see something outside of the space that you live in. Because how do you really live if you've never even seen anything else? To know that there's
Mm,
something better out there, something
got
more beautiful. If you've never seen a sunrise or a sunset on a cruise ship,
mhm,
if you've never been on an island in Jamaica or anywhere in a
mhm,
sunset,
mhm.
if you've never even experienced that turquoise blue water in the Caribbean, those are things that I think everybody needs to experience.
Yeah,
You might say
that
you don't like it, but you don't know until you try.
right, and you're talking about beaches and things like that, but there's
Yes.
so much more,
Oh,
like,
yes.
go to Europe,
Yes. Greece,
you know,
Athens, Rome, Italy,
Africa,
Africa.
right?
That's definitely. Listen,
Yeah,
Iceland. I never thought I would want to go to Iceland, but I went and it was beautiful.
yeah, there's so
Yes,
much to
so much
see.
to see, so much to do. And, if you're in your 40s, this is a great second, a side hustle for you to do because you get to experience travel while you're still working your 9 to 5. You get
Mhm,
to see the things that you may want to do later, and you get an opportunity to get paid while you're doing it.
mhm,
So it's not like you just spending money. You have an opportunity to earn commission on the travel that you book. That's what was
right.
a game changer for me. And you can help other people do the same thing and make money. It's like,
So
okay, I can make money and do something that I love. This a
mhm,
I came into the business, and the first group trip I did was a trip to Hawaii. It was a bucket list trip for me.
mhm.
Within 6 months, I had booked over $1 million worth of travel without
Wow.
even trying hard. But it was a bucket list trip for so many people, so it turned into a bigger cruise opportunity than I thought it would. And
Wow.
there's many more things like that that are down the pike that are coming because there's a lot of bucket list trips that people want to go on, but they just need somebody to curate it for them, to plan it for them, and show them what it looks like. Because that's how some people came to me to book trips for them because they saw my lifestyle. They saw me going to all these places. They saw me having a wonderful time. They're like,
Mhm,
listen, I want to do that. Because I would post pictures like, this is what my classroom looks like. And I'm on a cruise ship looking at the water. Like,
mhm.
that's what I want my classroom to look like. That's what I want to do. So, yeah, I'm enjoying every aspect of this.
So what would you say the actual your business now, if you like, but what would you say are there destinations or experiences that you personally, professionally specialize in?
I specialize in cruises.
Okay.
Cruises, but I do all inclusives as well. I specialize in cruises.
What would you say to someone, especially now, because if we can see, there are a lot of home-based businesses out there, right? There are a lot of skepticism about different things to get into. What about this business quality-wise that made you say, "Hey, I'm gonna put all my time and energy and investment into this because, it works and it's proven." What would you say to someone who's a little bit on the fence or unsure?
Because there are a lot of business opportunities out there. This company in particular, they had that 30-day money back guarantee that if you to allow you to try the business for 30 days, and if you didn't feel it was a good fit or you didn't like it, you can get
Mm,
your money back. There's no quotas for this business. There's no inventory for this business. You're learning as you go, and you have a team to help you. So you're not doing it alone. And we
mm,
we do team trips, there's team training, there's a lot of different ways to be successful in this. And if you're already booking your own travel, why not Do it and get paid for it. Get
Mhm.
commission on your own trips that you're booking. Because people are traveling. I mean, even during COVID, people were still traveling. I didn't advise it, but people were still traveling. But isn't that, this is one industry you know is not going out of business, no matter
Mm.
what. Travel is not going out of business.
Well, what would you
And
say to somebody who says, "Oh, well, I booked my own travel. I don't really need a travel agent."
during COVID, people found out they needed a travel agent because all those people that booked their own trips, when they reached out to those travel suppliers, they weren't answering them back. But
Mm,
if your travel agent booked it, we answered you back and we made sure that we canceled your trips for you and got your money back for you. That's not a service that you have privy to because we have relationships with the travel suppliers. So they're going to answer us back because they want to do business with us.
mm. Wow. Okay. So how does how would you say travel supports adults in their second act who are seeking clarity, healing, or reinvention? Are there trips that actually provide opportunities like that you're aware of?
Yeah, there are wellness retreats you can go on. That's actually one of the certifications you can get being in this company. You can get a wellness certification to do trips for
Okay.
wellness. I mean, and being on a cruise, there's nothing more peaceful to me than being on my balcony and we're pulling into a port right before sunrise. It's just a peaceful, calming, I don't even know how to explain. You have to
I
experience it
get
and
it.
just seeing those waves while you're
Mhm.
sitting there. It's just a serene and calming experience. Um, so you have to experience it for yourself to understand what
I know. I love cruises,
yes, I
and
know.
it's a humbling experience being out there on the water and seeing nothing around.
Mhm,
It makes the problems that you have back on land
mhm.
very small in those moments, because
Absolutely.
if that ship starts filling up with water and it's Titanic time, you know what I'm saying?
I don't
Who cares? Who cares
I don't
about the
even
bills
think
at
of
home?
I don't even think about that. As
I know.
many times as I've cruised, I don't even think about that because I believe if it's your time to go, you're gonna go.
I
Buy
like
the
to
clock.
choose how I'm gonna go, so
Yeah.
I'd rather not be on
Well,
a plane. I'd rather be on the water, 'cause at least I know how to swim, okay?
okay.
I got a shot, okay? I ain't got a shot with the plane going like this. There's
Yeah,
no
that's true.
anyway, let's stop talking about that.
Yeah, we don't
Okay.
have to talk about that.
Why do you believe that travel is one of the most powerful forms of therapy? I mean, you kinda talked about it, but why is it can you elaborate a little bit more why you think it's good therapy and
Yes.
especially around the area of maybe like self-discovery? I know I have some answers for that, but go
Yes.
ahead.
Well, you're taking yourself out of your normal environment.
There you go.
So you
Mhm.
don't know until you're out of your environment how much you needed it.
Yes.
And you're like a different person almost when you're on vacation because all the stress and all the things that you had when you were home, you leave those behind. And you try to be in the moment and enjoy where you are, you
Mhm.
know? And there's just some things that draw you in and pull you in that you're not gonna stay in that space that you left behind. You wanna
Mm.
enjoy everything you can while you're there, experience all that you can, and then come back home. Get ready
When
for
it
the next one.
Yeah, when it comes to people traveling who've never really traveled that much before, and you did mention at the top of this conversation, opportunity to explore other countries, like getting out of your own country.
Mhm.
How do you make people who've never done that feel comfortable about going to another country?
I try to share as much information as I can about that country, the place that they're gonna go to let them see how they're living there, the things that they are gonna experience when they go on a tour there so that they can see different things and opportunities. And
Mhm,
try I know some people are afraid to cruise. They said they've never cruised and they don't want to. They don't want to be on water. And I tell them take a short one, take a 2, 3 day cruise, or just do an overnight cruise just to get
mhm,
acclimated so that you can see it's not as bad as you think. Because sometimes you're in your head, you're thinking all these things, and not until you actually experience it then you know that it's not as bad as you thought. Actually
mhm,
enjoying yourself.
mm, okay. What destinations do you feel are especially transformative? Is there any destination that you've been to that really, like, was kind of like a healing journey for you at all, or good place to just reflect on your life? I know you said Hawaii was nice, but
Yeah. There
Mhm.
was on one cruise ship when we went to Italy some years ago, there was a small place called Palma de Mallorca. There was something about that place when I got off the ship and we walked around there. Everybody, everywhere you went was so calm and peaceful. You see people sitting on the bench, they're talking to each other, they're reading the paper, the stores. I mean, like everybody you encountered was just so calm and peaceful. I was like, man, this is a nice place to come retire to. Then when I went there, it was just something about that particular place that really struck me
Mhm.
as a nice place to come and retire to.
Wow, that's cool. I know there's so many places across the globe that we can see. You probably won't ever be able to see everything, right? But obviously,
I'm going to
let's talk a little bit about the business.
say,
So you were mentioning a little bit about how you found ways to make money on your own travel and stuff like that. Can you elaborate a little bit more on what that looks like? Because I think a lot of people don't even know that anything that you book, there's a
the pay bill.
commission already built into it,
Yes. Yeah,
right? Can you kinda talk a little bit more
absolutely,
about that?
absolutely.
Mm,
Most people don't know that there are commissions built into every travel trip that you book. I don't care what search engine you book on. I'm going to use Expedia as an example because they're one of our travel suppliers under Expedia Travel Agent, TEF.
mhm,
So when you book with them, there's a commission built into what you're paying for. You just don't know it because you don't see that. And it's the same with us. There's a myth that you pay more to use a travel advisor, but you don't. You don't pay more to use us because the commission is already built into what you're paying for when you book,
mhm,
but you get more service with us because we take it up another level. You're just going to book your airfare and your resort or hotel or cruise with this travel supplier. We give you concierge service. So we're going to add some other things there and tell you about some other things that they may not tell you about. We give you an overall bigger experience than you would get with just going online and booking it. We give you a more personalized experience.
So someone essentially who books a hotel on Expedia, even though they don't see those in the invoice, there's a commission, but the commission is already reflected in the price. The market rate is already factored with a commission in there just in case an agent
Right.
has
And
booked
if
it.
the agent books it, then the commission would go to the agent. Now, if you're booking it out for yourself, but some people say, I don't want to book for other people. I don't want to be a travel agent. You don't have to.
Mm,
Loves to travel, you can book just for yourself.
mm,
Trips and get commission back on your trips that you book for yourself. I mean,
mhm.
if you're going to go anyway, you might as well make some money on it. And as you continue to travel.
So this is what essentially you've been doing over the last several years, building your business, booking travel, doing group, doing
Yes.
destination
I've even
events.
done
And
weddings, everything. I've done it all.
so how are you able to do all of this? And, I would assume that, like your traditional brick and mortar travel agency, you would have to have like, license agreements and contracts with all the suppliers and all this stuff to be able to operate. How are you able to do all of this,
Well, the beauty of
yourself?
our the company that I'm partnered with is IntelliTravel, and they are the host agency. So they've already leveraged all the relationships with thousands of travel suppliers. We have over 150,000 agents. They give us the highest percentage of commissions. So if you're an
Mhm,
individual doing this, you would not get the same percentage rates that we get on commissions. You would have to leverage your own relationship with different travel suppliers where they're already set up for us. And all we got to do is register with them, and then we're able to use them to make your travel experience one that's memorable. So they do it all for you. Once you sign up, as soon as you sign up, you get your
mhm.
website instantly. So you can start booking right away.
So is this more like a turnkey
Yes,
business?
absolutely. It's turnkey.
So what are some of the resources that you have? I'm assuming this is a home-based business,
Yes, it
right?
is a home
So
based
you
business.
have your
Mhm.
website, your certifications to operate business, stuff like that?
Yes, everything is under that umbrella. Once you sign up under them, they even have the EOS, the errors and emissions. That's a part of your agreement when you sign up under them. And like I said, they already leverage all the relationships. So all you gotta do is sign up with them and book. And
Mm,
you all you need is a computer or your phone to book.
mhm,
I've booked trips while I was on a cruise ship. I've booked trips while I was away on vacation because I still work. Difference is
mhm,
I'm working on my own time, so I can be on a beach and work. And I'm fine with that.
mhm. So with what's going on right now in the economy, we have the highest level of inflation,
Yes.
right? You still have your 9 to 5ers. I'm a 9 to 5er, and I love what I do. I'm not even trying to I love HR. I want to be in that field. I'm
Mhm.
still ambitious as a corporate professional, right? However, I'm also in my second act positioning myself for the second half to do things that are more on my
Mhm.
time. So looking for other revenue streams and things like that. What would you say to a person right now to say, hey, this is the right business choice for you? Because not everybody wakes up and says, I want to be a travel agent,
Right.
right? And they think, I don't want to be a travel agent, but basically, essentially, you are when you're booking
Mhm.
yourself for all the things you're doing. You're essentially doing what a travel agent does. The only other layer is what the stuff you mentioned,
Right.
right? But what would you say to a person? Why would this would be the right opportunity for somebody in this current state of our economy?
First of all, the startup cost is pretty reasonable, it's minimal, and the monthly fees are as well. And it's a tax write-off for your business. And you work it as much as you want or as little as you want. There's no like pushing you to do more than you want to do. This is your home, your business. You can work it any way you choose to. And I just think it's a great industry, especially if you're traveling anyway. If you're someone that doesn't love to
Mhm,
travel and you don't, then I don't really think this is the business for you. But if you have a love of
mhm.
travel or you just travel anyway, and you're the one that's booking trips for your family and for other people, then this is like the perfect opportunity for you to do something you love or that you're already doing and make additional income.
Are there certain types of travel you can't do? Like, what is the broadness of the types of travel things you can do,
We book
basically?
everything: flights, hotels, cruises, retreats, trains, buses, everything. We book car rentals, everything. We book everything. If it moves, we
Mm,
book it.
mm, okay. Cool. So if someone was to be interested in learning more about the travel business that you're in as a home-based business, where would they start? Like, where would they need to go? How would they get a hold of you?
They can reach out to me. A webpage is called travelisfreedom.com. And you would just give me your information and it has a video attached right to it to show you a 10-minute overview of how this business works. And then we could set up a time to meet so I can talk with you further if you feel it's something that you're interested in. Weekly
Mhm.
meetings, also live presentations that give people an opportunity to, see the information on another platform. You'll see things on my website, on TikTok or Instagram or Facebook where you can reach out to me as well.
Is there any certain like states or countries you can do this business out of? How open is it in terms of like being able to operate
Right
and do
now,
this
we're like
business?
in 21 countries. So we're pretty in the islands. We're there as well. So it's happening all around. And people who live in the islands, because of the value of their dollar, they're doing extremely well with this business. Jamaica is one of our booming countries. And the UK is killing this business. The people in the UK, they're making crazy money in this business
As travel
as
agents?
travel agents.
Wow. Wow. That's
They
crazy.
have the
That's
top
great.
income earners right now.
Okay. So if you were to say to anybody right now who's a little on the fence about this business, what would be your 30-second, hey, you should take a look?
Listen, there's so many different opportunities out here. If you have a love for travel or you just, well, what I forgot to mention is that it's a legacy business. So once you get to a certain level in this business, you can will it over to your family in the event of your death. So if you want to have a wealth
Mm.
building opportunity that you can leave for your family, if you just want to make money in general, this is actually an opportunity that you can make as much money as you want to on this. Just working the opportunity, just booking travel or booking travel and introducing people to this business platform.
Yeah, I think what you're saying too is how you started it. It was a part-time thing,
S-
something you did on the side to make money, and it brought extra income into your home, and all of a sudden it became an actual, primary business that has allowed you the freedoms that you have. Plus, the fact that you get to travel a lot because you get opportunities as travel agents to get discounted
Yes, free.
travel, things like that, learning opportunities, and make money on your own travel. I think the key thing here for me is understanding that, in this current economy, we don't know how it's going to get. inflation is high. We don't know if it's eventually going to go down. We don't know what's going on right now, but it's smart to have something else in your second act, to have multiple streams of
Yes.
income. Some of it might match your passion very well. Like it sounds like travel matches your passion very well. Some of it may not. Like I would love to own some properties here and there. It's not something I'm passionate about, but it's from a business
Mhm.
standpoint, it makes
Yes.
sense. I think this makes sense because if you travel and you already want to travel more in life, then it's something that allows you more ability to travel more
Yes. It allows you
because
more
of
freedoms.
having your own travel
Mhm.
licenses, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Am I hitting it on the
Yes, you
nail?
hit it right on the nail. This business allows you the
Okay.
freedom to do the time freedom, the financial freedom, all of that that everybody desires.
At the end of the day, that's where we want people to, in their second act, we want to make sure that everyone understands the goal of this conversation. If travel's for you, then great. We see it works for her. The key is find
Yes.
something other than your 9 to 5 that matches closer to your passion. If not, helps you get to a state where you can not have to barter so much of your
Yes.
time like she's doing, selling it off to work 40 hours a week, where now her 40 hours a week is
Lord. Yes,
100%
Lord. Thank you.
hers. You follow what I'm saying? But we also know there comes a price to that
Absolutely.
too. You have to be more
Yes.
responsible with your time, because if you don't wake up tomorrow, you decide to lay around and not book
You
no
ain't making no
travel,
money. So
you
you
might
have
find
to be
yourself back in
disciplined.
that 9 to 5,
That's right.
right?
And when you have other people that partner with you, then you have a responsibility to see that they get what they came there for as well. So it's not all about making money, it's
Yes.
all about the financial freedom that people want as well. So I just feel
Thank you.
blessed to be able to help people to achieve those things through this platform. So I'm really excited
Right.
about that.
Well, I want to just say to you, Katrina, I'm proud of you. And I know we just met each other in the last couple of years. I know it's not easy what you do, and you've definitely been blessed. But I think a lot of people put a lot of hope and belief into things, but we have to make things happen for
Absolutely.
ourselves in the end. And I think you're an example of that. You waking up every day consistently doing this thing, and it's been paying off for you. And you've created this life for yourself where you own all
Yes.
your time. You get to do what you want to do every day you wake up. It must be a nice thing to know that when you wake up, no one's expecting you to be there unless you expect yourself to be
Yeah,
there.
you have to be disciplined because I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I made a lot of money in corporate America. I had huge bonuses. I was doing very well. So walking away from that to doing this, you really gotta be structured, to make that kind of money. And it's possible to make that kind of money again through this opportunity. You're gonna
Mhm.
work for it though. It's not gonna come to you easily. You gotta work for it.
Well, we're going to make sure to add your sites to the end of this video so everyone will have links if they're interested in learning more where they can
Yeah.
find you. So I'll make sure to add all those links to
And
this site here.
you can look out for
And we're
some
going to
trips I'm gonna have
go ahead.
coming up down the pike. My husband wants to do a couples trip, so I'm in the process of planning that, and I'll have it on my sites. I'm partnered with some other business partners, and we want to do a retirement trip, an annual one.
Oh,
Yeah, and then some of the other people in the business as well. There's a cruise going to New Orleans, and we want to do Mardi Gras. So
oh,
the
that's
ship,
cool. You got to let
yeah,
me know
and
about
it's
that
almost
one.
booked up. So I'm gonna let you know as soon as we get off of here.
All right. Well, hey, we'll stay
Okay.
in touch with you. I want to thank you for coming on the
Thank you
show
for having
and
me.
help with this second act. I hope everyone, look, family, what a ride. We learned a lot about Phertrina and this business and something potentially anyone can get involved in if you love to travel, right? So we didn't just talk travel, we talked freedom. We learned a lot what it takes to actually be free. It takes the same amount of work that you provide
Mhm.
9 to 5, you need to give to your freedom when it comes to starting your own business, whatever it might be. Okay. And we talked about the possibilities of that when we invest our time doing so. So, what Phertrina is showing us through reminding us that in your second act, it doesn't have to be small, safe, or predictable. It can be global. It can
Mhm.
be abundant. It can be stamped, sailed, and paid for. Okay? If today had lift something up in you, I want you to follow her then. Support her, book that trip with her. You'll
Yeah.
see the links at the bottom at the end of this video, or start that business in the travel business and she will guide you
Absolutely. I
through.
am success
Okay?
coach in the business, so I definitely help other people
There we go.
start their own travel business. You should
Exactly.
reach out at Trina's
That's
Travel
right. Because
TT at gmail.com.
say that
Trina's
again.
Travel TT at gmail.com.
And because the world is too big, you guys, it's too real to stay stuck in the same place. We got to get out of this country and see these other parts of this globe. And as always, I want to thank you all for just stopping by on Second Act with DeAngelo. Until next time, stay grateful, move with intention, and remember your second act starts the moment you decide you deserve more. Second Act with DeAngelo. See you
Yeah.
soon.